Welcome, guys, to level 6 of Jumanji. Thank you all for sharing your time, your precious time of this game with us.
If you've made it this far, you have survived.
It's a shitstorm out there.
Level
right
5.
now.
Level 5. Holy shit. Let's talk about what's going on in the world right now, man.
It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we haven't even finished one thing and we're on to a whole other
The
thing.
next one pops up.
It's
Yes.
like level 3 and 4 overlapped with 6.
It
Yeah.
really is.
It was a seamless transition. That's what was trying to happen there, you know?
And a lot of small things on the side as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
So I feel like we need to discuss the main thing that's happening at this point of the recording. There's been a lot of protests out, throughout the world, not just the country, throughout the world.
yeah.
Due
There's a
to
lot
the
of
fact of the murder.
Racism.
The George
The
Floyd
murder of George Floyd.
Yeah, but the murder was due to the racism. That's really what it comes down to.
But we're talking about what transpired of the cost of what's happening.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you interrupted that train of thought.
We can't get away from what this podcast is about, and that is interrupting us.
Just interrupting each other.
Just interrupting each other all over the place.
Even when we decide to have a
serious conversation.
Serious conversation. We can't.
You know, when people get nervous, that's what I do. When I get nervous,
So you're
I
nervous
include
right now?
comedy. I'm a little nervous. I'm a lot
Well,
nervous.
it is a touchy subject, but I feel like we need to discuss it due to the fact that
Yeah,
we are
sure.
a minority.
Mhm.
I mean, me for one, I understand and I see what needs to be done in the country and what's wrong with the country, and all over the world. It's not just here; it's all over the world.
It is.
But there's a difference of as to, and it's sad to say nowadays that most of our news we're gonna get it from social media, and I'm thankful for them because a lot of the portrayal that
social media is
news.
telling it how it is.
Yeah. And
News
here's-
stations have an agenda of how to portray things.
And if you want to see the full story, because same thing with social media, the difference is with social media, you see both stories all at once. With the TV, with the news, you have to either see all channels at once to get both sides.
It's not even. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's left out. I feel like
Exactly. There's not a lot of clarity between
all the redacted information,
yeah.
if you will.
Well, the media has an agenda. You know,
Exactly,
The
which is
media is
what I was telling
owned by
Sarah.
a wealthy person, and in my personal opinion, I might sound crazy. I might sound like I'm on drugs. I'm not. I don't think
Just
I'm
a
crazy.
conspiracy theorist.
But I just don't trust the government. I don't trust the government, and I don't trust rich businessmen who run the country.
Yo, and
Oh, yeah,
talking about
same here.
not trusting government or the rich folk of the country, this is just something very slightly off subject, but still within what we're talking about, which is a corrupt government and the rich getting away with things that they shouldn't. On Netflix, there's a show called Filthy Rich, which is about Jeffrey Epstein and the fact that he was about to be like indicted for soliciting minors, like
For being a rapist, for being a child
Exactly,
molester. Let's just say how it is.
exactly. And he got away with it for so many years until he was eventually convicted because of so many protests and stuff.
See,
But then he suspiciously died
he got
or
killed.
committed suicide.
He was killed.
Yeah, he was killed for
He
sure.
was killed. He was killed.
He was
killed
committed suicide
He was
based
killed
on-
by Trump.
He committed suicide based by what the news said, but I do think he was killed. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out.
Those are some crazy allegations, Nico. Where are you getting this from? I want to know.
But the fact that I mean, I don't have any solid proof, to be honest with you. I just wanted to say that. That's what a lot of people say. It's just something people say.
a lot
Now,
of powerful people that were attached to that
brings
case.
into another point. So
it's let's talk about the company that you keep, right? So like you're friends with somebody for X amount of years, and you're telling me that you didn't know that this was going on. You attended parties where this stuff was
in
happening.
his private island.
And his private island. And I'm not talking because I know that you want to talk about Anonymous and what they came out with, and you don't believe that it's true. To an extent, I agree with
to an
you.
extent.
But look at it this way: like rich people are nasty. When you have that much money, you don't know what to do with it.
And they think they can get away with anything.
You feel invincible.
Exactly. Now, keep in mind too that just like rich people get away with a lot of things, there's other rich people that have agendas against the people that are
Oh, of course.
are the face of the government, right? I forgot who it was. I actually have a friend that I follow on Instagram, and he posted a story regarding someone named Rossi or something like that.
The guy that does everything behind the scenes.
Yes.
The people that control the country.
But the fact that he sent, and I need to research this again a little more in that. He said that apparently he was the one controlling Anonymous. Because you have to think about it. There's a group, or let's not call it a group, a legion, like they like to call themselves, Anonymous. A bunch of hackers, right, who can get information out of. But they need funding from somewhere.
Oh,
right?
Of course.
And some with power, money, is going to get a hold of them. Like, hey, look, so I want you to lay low. Because if you have that type of knowledge and power to get dirt on everyone in the world, you can pretty much run a world. You can bring chaos. You can bring, an uprising. But since they need the funding, they're going to do whatever that person is funding, that's funding the Legion is asking them to do, which is get dirt on other people. What do you think? They haven't done anything in the past 4 years since they first, quote unquote, came out.
So now I'm gonna play devil's advocate, right? What happens to a country without government?
Oh, just like everything, there's anarchy.
Okay, so what happens then? What does that lead to?
Some would say it's necessary. Some would say it's dangerous.
Yeah, but why would it be necessary? I mean, I understand that you do need to change certain things about the country, right?
And I'm gonna bring this point because I took what was it, philosophy back in high school, and it was a high school class, but they showed us the movies of The Matrix, and there's a good philosophy behind the making of like the reason of why The Matrix, the movie, were made, and that is the in one point of view is to restart. Because if you watch all three movies, the architect, he's trying to restart the Matrix because he knows that humans are just chaotic. Yeah. There's a point where we just need to hit the reset and just start all over again. Because it gets to a point where we can't go back and fix things.
Exactly.
And that's what Neo was trying to sorry.
He doesn't let anybody talk.
No, that's fine.
No, sorry. And that's what Neo was trying to do. He was like, we're different. I believe. That's why he sacrificed himself to, not restart the Matrix.
It's a movie, though, unfortunately.
It is.
And I believe that it's been proven that humanity, where we stand as of right now, we're not capable of going through that change.
But that's what I was telling you
Too
regarding
many people would die.
Anarchy, Anarchy kind of hits the reset button on everything because something needs to be brought up.
Somebody's always wanna lead.
Of course.
Right? And
it's human nature.
It's not always gonna be the good person that's gonna lead.
Like it is right now.
I mean, unfortunately, our elected president, because I know some people like to say not my president, this is that. Unfortunately, he is our president. You live in the country, you have to abide by the rules.
He's in power.
He's in power. He was elected. I don't very much believe in the power of voting. I'm going to come out and say it.
At least because
we're in a representative democracy. We're not on a direct democracy where our voice is really what decides who is going to lead the country.
I think it
should
be a popular vote as opposed to...
It is, but you got to understand that
but not completely.
But that's what I'm getting at.
Because, for example, going back to 2000, Al Gore won the popular vote, but he was not...
Hillary won the popular vote. Hillary won the vote.
But then again, we have things such as what happened to Hillary and the WikiLeaks and her having, in her email saying, besides
the point, though, because unfortunately, at that point, how people saw it, and I read this a lot from a lot of people who voted for Trump, was he's the better of two evils. To them, right? In their eyes, he was the better of the two evils.
In some sort, right? It seems like it, because, I mean...
Listen, I haven't looked into the whole Benghazi and the emails and all this stuff.
But like in people's perspective, it's like, okay, so you want someone that drones innocent human beings, or you want someone who's instigating a racial war, in lack of a better words. I mean, he comes out saying statements like, "No, I care about the people," but then in his rallies, he comes saying like, "Oh, he's a person who's a black person who is uneducated and this and that and that." Or like throwing stuff to
not just that, but
Hispanics.
Look at his lack of support of what's going on right now. His lack of empathy, at even the very least. Not
even to notice or comprehend that there is
He's a showman.
a wrong with our police
Like,
enforcement.
Because in
thing
his eyes, there's not.
There are such deep-seated roots in the corruption in this country that some people are just wanting to live blindsided by it. They don't want to see it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, just now today I was actually reading, there's a lot of based on the protests that have been going on, they've been removing statues of former racist presidents. Like
there have been a lot of
Andrew
acceptance
Jackson.
of
They removed the Confederate flag from
Lee.
the Marines.
General Lee.
I
Yeah,
think it
General
was,
Lee. Yeah, from the southern states.
from the Civil War. He was,
So
Well, and here's the thing: there's been a lot of just acceptance of this is who we are, this is how we're raised, by a lot of people who lack common sense and able to see what's past their nose.
Well, yeah.
And-
This
and
country
they're
was
just
built
like, oh, well,
by immigrants.
it was built
By black
by
people,
slavery.
by slavery.
Basically, they're
exactly.
saying, "Oh, we took over this land that wasn't even our land. Now we're calling it our land, and no one can have rights just
Yeah.
because we took over." That's
is
basically what they're
wrong,
saying.
which is
they're not
wrong.
giving a human life any rights.
Yeah, humans are this destructive, man, and that's just how I see it. We are capable of beautiful things,
We're poisonous.
but at the same time, exactly, we
Race.
can be very poisonous.
And most of the time, especially right now, it's more of the bad things that we create than the good things.
I think as humans, the only positive thing that we do now is maybe like advancements in technology, which could lead
But
to
even
but do you
that,
know those advancements most of the time are led because we want to destroy somebody else,
yeah.
because we want something that they have.
And even those advancements are what blinding us or stopping us from actually doing something different. Because just like we have a house, we have a job, we have a car, we're not willing to risk that to actually step up for the little people, right?
We're all
Because
guilty of that.
I don't want to go in a protest and get arrested because it's my job on the line.
Yeah, I could lose my job,
Or it's my
can't
family
pay
on
for
the
my
line.
stuff.
I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't go just move and live in a mountain.
We're not willing to sacrifice
our commodities.
our comfort.
Yeah,
Exactly, our
comedy.
comfort. Yeah.
Which is it's
So-
sad reality.
So to talk straight on the subject, obviously what happened with George Floyd.
Not just George Floyd though. There's
No.
there's
It's
so
been
many
many.
names
It's
on
been
that
many.
list.
This was the tipping point where just people, out of the culmination of everything that has happened in the past with unjust cop murders,
Yeah.
to whether it was unarmed
It's
black men
just
and women.
it's a funny contrast between you see Nicholas, the kid that here in Parkland shut up the school.
17
Yeah.
kids.
Yes.
How was he arrested? Literally,
He
they
just
were-
walked out.
he walked out,
Like
and
nothing.
he was
Walked
walking
out.
down the street, and they just saw him. They told him to stop.
Yeah.
Even the guy, I don't even know his name, but again, he's
The-
a white.
Are you talking about the kid who shot up the school?
No, the kid that shut up, he went into
Oh, the
a
church.
Yes.
Yes,
A church
yes.
of like,
Yep.
mainly black.
And he was walked
community.
out, with his hands behind his back, whatever. But
Like
he was
nothing
walked
had
out.
happened.
Let's talk about what crime this George Floyd committed.
He had a counterfeit $20 bill.
Yo, from a person that works at a fucking bank, right? I'm gonna tell you, I've seen hundreds of them. I've caught people doing fraud. Never has anybody been arrested like that because of it.
That's crazy.
If they get arrested, they just get walked out to the vehicle.
And can we also say something about the fact that, the people that were recording the incident or taking pictures?
It's tough though, because there's a reason why there was 4 officers there, right? You hear people, and I haven't seen the full video, but you can hear people saying, "Hey, get off his neck."
I mean, because at that point,
But the cops are pushing everybody away.
even I've thought about it. I've been in Twitter a lot, and it keeps just playing on my mind. All those videos regarding the protests, what happened to George Floyd, and in that situation, if I'm a bystander, what would I do? In my rage, my internal rage, I would have stepped in. I would have tried, not reprimand the officer, but I would have done something, try and do something. But at the end of the day, it's
Okay.
4 against me, right? And if I grab one of their guns and I point it at them without any intention to shoot, I'm dead. If
Oh,
I push
yeah.
him, chances are I'm dead because they're just gonna retaliate.
exactly. They're gonna think that
Yeah, of
you're an
course.
accomplice, and
You know what I'm saying?
this it's funny because this country supposedly you're guilty until I'm sorry,
no,
innocent until proven
yeah,
guilty,
yeah.
right? That's the motto. That's what everybody has grown up believing. But for some reason, it's like they've forgotten about that, and they're already passing judgment on people and already claiming them guilty and executing a death sentence
And
before
that's-
you get a chance to go in front of a judge and
And that's what racism is. And a lot of people I've seen, again, Twitter, Facebook, people defending the fact that, just because, it could have been, white, it could have been just because they're a different color than white. Is that a motive? Is that already a reason? If that's what you're trained
Yeah,
about,
is that the
then that's
only reason
racism.
it could have been?
that is racism.
Because you're saying just because of the color of the skin,
It's a prejudice.
they're more likely to already have stolen something or kill someone.
But regardless, we have white people who have killed
Yeah.
tens and
Committing
tens of
terrorist
people.
attacks.
If you think
Yeah.
about it, just thinking about exactly the terrorist attacks or the serial killers, I would say 95% of them are like white people that are just
There's
that have lost their mind.
definitely a racism problem in this country.
Oh,
and
100%.
unfortunately, our police forces have a very vast majority of officers who don't know how to deal with certain situations.
They don't.
And it's funny because today I saw somebody post about how many hours of training does a hairstylist have to go through, and it's over 2,000 to 3,000 hours to be able to become somebody who goes and cuts your hair.
What about
And then
officers?
they put a contrast of 114 or 120 hours that an officer does in police academy training with guns and people.
And they're not even required to have weekly shooting range classes. It's once a month.
But it's not even about the shooting range. I think that
No, but listen to this, right? So, because each government does not have enough money
So
or
the
funding to buy bullets, they tell the officers once a month you're supposed to go to the shooting range, buy your own ammunition, and just pass that one class.
yeah, but I don't think we should talk about the guns. I think we should talk about what's up here,
no,
like the mental,
but
the
it goes-
mental training. Because I think if
But
you're
that
a
goes
police
with the training
officer-
of a gun.
Oh, you're talking okay.
That goes because
Because
if you have training on a weekly basis of a gun that is not a tool, it's actually it's
It should
a
be-
weapon. It's a
Yeah, it
weapon
should
for
be-
self-defense, or it's a weapon
Exactly.
that could
I
cause
still
death.
disagree. I think that
But here's the
the
thing.
training should be focused more on how to
It should be on
de-escalate
both.
and talk
But-
to people.
but here's the thing.
how to properly handle
When you're teaching someone, and I don't know if you saw the last video from Corey. He actually went into saying that he goes to the shooting range. He goes with police officers from his area, and he mentions that they are horrible compared to like normal people who go there to actually practice
who
their
actually
trade
go and
and
shoot.
do for self-defense. They're horrible, and that's because the state does not fund any type of training. And with that training, not just gun training, but some type of psychological training that tells them this is not a tool.
Well,
This is not
should.
just a tool that you should go reach for the first thing. You should actually think about the situation
consequences.
in which you are in
And it's all about the training, yeah.
and the consequences.
they should have psychological training.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but there's ways to determine through psychological analysis whether somebody is racist or not. And I'm not saying, but if there's any doubt about that person not, having any prejudices. I can't even say the word.
Prejudice.
Yeah, any type of bias against the race, a specific religion, or something like that, they should not be out. I'm not saying fire them, but they should not be out on the
They
field
should be paper pushers.
dealing with
But
people.
even with a paper pusher,
The
it
people
could be
behind the desk.
Yeah, it could mean in someone's sentence being longer or actually someone being convicted.
Yeah, but no, that's not by the judge.
That's
those are
that's
reports
the
that they
judicial
file.
system.
evidence.
That is
they
true.
handle
Yeah,
the evidence.
yeah.
They're always gonna have the hand in.
Yeah,
something.
the answer really is just, unfortunately,
It's just
you can't work.
uprooting
You can't
the
work
racism.
exactly. Just
Now,
get rid of it.
I mean, a counter to that, and I like to be. I like to see both sides of this, of this, the balance, right? they're gonna be like, oh, but that's my opinion. I have the freedom of speech.
Yeah, but your freedom of speech could cost somebody's life, and at that point, it becomes unconstitutional.
But if they just have an opinion regarding another race, but they're not really acting on it.
I mean, it's different, right? But you see it right now that they are acting on it.
Of course,
They're using excessive force, not just with everybody. Like the police need
no,
to
they're
be policed.
they're with a specific person of interest. Of course, they're just being prejudiced.
Oh yeah, of course. That's what this is really all about.
And this is what a lot of people. And again, it goes down to the protest and the Second Amendment thing, right? It's always yes, my freedom of speech is limited until it puts someone else's life in harm, right?
When it commits a crime,
When it commits a crime,
and when it harms other
and
people.
even so, because you can't go in the building and say fire or bomb, because it's a freedom of speech, but you're actually putting lives in danger.
Yeah.
Right? I forgot where I was going with this.
Okay. While you circle back to your thoughts, talking about excessive force and going back to that training, that mental or psychological training that they should exert onto cops, have further training on that. It goes back to a case from the 90s. It was a gentleman that came from Guinea in Africa. He came to New York. He was like 22 years old. He wanted to come to college here, and he was shot. He was shot at 41 times.
Jesus, that's
Trying to get into his apartment. He reached for his pocket to get his keys, and he was, blocked off. It was just a door to his apartment and just walls completely surround him. He had nowhere to go. 4 cops that were undercover in civilian clothes. They assumed he was reaching for a gun, and they shot at him 41 times.
that's just not. That's
Hitting him 20 plus times. So obviously, that's an execution in my
that's an
eyes.
execution.
no. Yeah, that's.
And
that's,
when they went to the jury, they were acquitted of every single charge. Not a single one of them went
How?
to
Just
jail.
like another example, Breonna Taylor.
Oh my God, that is.
How are you
that's
gonna tell me
horrible.
that her boyfriend is found guilty for shooting?
I think he was
an
I
intruder?
think he was acquitted earlier this week.
But still, like,
But
it,
he
it
still had
shouldn't
to
have
go through
gone.
all that.
It
He
shouldn't
still-
have. He shouldn't have gone through all that. First of all, fees, court fees, lawyer fees. Second of all, you intruded my house.
Exactly.
I am in the right due to my Second
protect
Amendment
myself,
to
of
protect
course.
my house, my property, and my family.
You know
Yeah.
that city's gonna get the biggest lawsuit ever.
How are you gonna tell me that?
And I hope he
they're
gets
gonna start
all the money
shooting.
he can, yo. Like,
They kill his girlfriend and then he's found guilty.
that's insane.
That
when
is
you bursted
ridiculous.
into my house.
Yeah, you
that's-
burst-
Where did that happen again?
I don't know what's
Do you
Texas.
guys remember?
I think it was Texas.
I
but
can't tell you
that's
where
just-
it was.
Yeah, I know.
But it's funny because, and I saw, and you brought it up. I saw earlier today that he was acquitted. The funny thing is that he has a permit to conceal carry. He's in his property. Somebody broke into his house because technically they got the wrong house, looking for a person that was already arrested. They were already in jail,
Wow.
and they shot this poor woman
In his
26
sleep.
times.
In her sleep.
And because he got up and he shot
many
back,
times?
he got arrested. I think it was like 26 times. I
ridiculous.
might have the wrong number, but I know it was
What is
super
this
high.
like back in the Western days? Wanted dead or alive.
Exactly.
And this is a reason why in the Constitution there's the Second Amendment.
Yep. To protect us
To
from
protect
things
us
like this.
from anyone coming into our property without any type of permit or consent, just trying to take it out or taking our property or taking
Yeah.
advantage of us.
And I love this country because it's given me more than unfortunately my own country gave me. But I see and a lot of people are seeing that there's a fear that we're gonna lose our freedoms because
yeah.
Trump this whole time, and I'm sorry, I'm not a Trump supporter. I hope that's clear with everybody. I'm not gonna hate on the guy, but I am gonna talk on the facts, right? I'm not trying to be biased, and I might be a little biased because it's my own opinion. But the stuff that he has been doing it goes against the people. It goes against the Constitution. The right to be able to protest should not be taken away. He should not be telling police and sending the military into cities to attack its own people because he doesn't like what's going on.
And that's what our First Amendment right does. It gives us the right to voice our opinion. Now, I mean, of course, I don't agree on the looting.
That's what I was going to say. There's one thing I don't agree with what's going on, and that's the looting and destroying
but have you
private
been seeing,
businesses.
There's also a lot of conspiracies about that.
Have you been seeing a lot of the videos where people are saying those bricks were not here yesterday?
Yeah. I do.
Those
I have
There's
seen it.
videos of the police putting out bricks.
I have seen it, but
So it's not really on them. Yes,
but still acting on it, you know.
No, but they're not.
Sure,
They're
those
not the
bricks
ones
are
doing
there.
it. Technically, what? Okay, so what?
Somebody's
people are,
starting it. It could not be them, but then they're following along.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's only these people that are putting in the bricks, the ones that are ruining.
Well, what's
and
happening
looting
is what they're saying, and this is a conspiracy theory because there's no proof that this is what's happening, or not clear proof that I've seen. At least if somebody has, just tag us on it or something so we can find out. There's people that are getting paid to go into protests and make it a violent protest.
and if you're seeing a lot of the videos of the rioting, there's people like against it, right? They're trying to protect the buildings, and
Yeah, they're doing.
But once it put yourself in this
and
situation,
most of
right?
the people, most of the people that I've seen in the videos, obviously, videos could be selective. Like I'm only gonna show this part of the video, or this video that I'm recording, but most of them is just white kids destroying. I'm not gonna say there are any people of color destroying some, but most of them is like skateboards, just white kids. Now the color of the skin is white, but it's not just the protesters. There's people out there just going out there, and it's not people of color just for the mayhem.
But see, what I was gonna say to Juan says, like, put yourself in this situation, right? You're protesting peacefully. You're letting out your grievances with a bunch of people. Somebody starts doing stuff to the police, and the police start fighting back. Are you just gonna sit idly by?
I mean, I'm not going to be one to engage.
No, of course. But some people don't think like that. I just wanted to put the example out there.
No, and I get
And
that.
there are people who
But
try to leave
if it gets to the
peacefully.
point, okay, for example, let's take the time when we went to that
The game.
to that soccer game.
Yeah.
When they started, how do you call it? Basically, it was two rival teams, and they started throwing.
They were about to get into
It seemed like Molotov cocktails. Like they were throwing cans filled
throwing,
with crap, and you have the option to either engage and retaliate. I wasn't hit. I wasn't affected. It didn't come near me. We walked the other way.
But the problem is some people didn't have that option. Especially because it's different to talk about going to a soccer game, right?
Yeah,
to be in the middle of a protest where you're surrounded by police, where you're blocked off by police.
I want to say
Because
surrounded because
No, they were surrounded because they closed city blocks, and even people I've heard or I've seen accounts of people who were trying to get to their vehicles. There's a video, a guy literally trying to walk to his car in a parking garage. The cop just went and grabbed him. He wasn't doing anything. He was walking into the parking garage to go to his car, and the police officers just grabbed him. I think that's abuse of power. You're just grabbing whoever you see. You know what I mean?
yeah, no.
Or like the
those
two kids who were
situations,
just
for sure.
driving. There was a car right in front of them.
Oh my God, yes.
And they completely just swatted the car, tased them, ripped that out of the car.
That was racist
violently.
because they were black. I'm not even gonna sit here and tell you it was for another reason. Those cops are racist. The ones that did that to the two young people, the college students, because in front of them there was a car with a white girl. Nothing happened to that car.
She was even waving and smiling at the camera.
There were two cars doing the exact same thing, and they went and targeted a car with black individuals. For
crazy.
what reason?
That's fucked up.
Now I'm getting heated. It's just upsetting. It's upsetting.
It's a frustrating.
It's upsetting.
It's frustrating seeing things like that because I mean, everyone. I don't care if you're white, black, brown, yellow, whatever color you are, purple,
I mean, if you're
fuchsia,
purple, you're
whatever
dying.
whatever
You're
color you are,
asphyxiated.
you are an immigrant to this land, regardless.
This country was built by immigrants. I mean,
Exactly.
nobody
Yeah,
can say. The only people that can say they belong to this country are the Native Americans. And guess what happened to them?
They were exiled.
They lost their country.
The Trail of Tears. When we
Tears.
pushed them all to Oklahoma and Utah and stuff.
And they're still being persecuted as well.
Yeah, man. That's and here you are claiming like this is our country. Get out of our country. What kind of nonsense is that? First of all, I mean, I don't care what religion you believe in or whatever. We are children of the earth.
I thought you guys said children of the corn.
We belong to this earth. We are part of this earth.
We're human beings.
We have a connection to this earth, regardless of who you are. If you want to believe in in your religion or whoever it is, type of God you believe in, but at the end of the day, we are all children of the earth. We have a connection to one each other. We have a connection to plants, animals, the wind. You can't just say like, "Oh, I'm better than you," just because I have my skin is lighter,
yeah,
or my eyesight lighter, or I'm taller, or I'm shorter.
Since the beginning of the times, this is my theory. I think that the Europeans
and just FYI, guys, I'm not a hippie. I believe in spirit and in the energy.
If we look at oppression of black people, since the beginning of time, I believe it's because of fear. I think that the Europeans, and to this day, they're still afraid of the potential that the black race brings because they're stronger, more
faster.
agile. I mean, if you look at it in every sense of the word, they're more evolved.
If you look at a lot of the athletes,
they're far more agile.
Exactly.
Like the top athletes are
the intelligence, bro. Like, come on.
Any sport,
exactly. And that's why I think that this is how it started.
We got Messi and Cristiano up there. Although they are
LA.
Yeah.
But listen, if black people were to start playing lacrosse and stuff,
that would dominate.
Taking over.
They're too athletic.
Their hand-eye coordination is just
there is a disadvantage.
There was actually a sign that made me laugh my ass off. It said, "Your daughters love every inch of us. Why can't you?"
Yeah, I've seen that too. All right. We are getting completely off
hilarious.
topic.
I'm sorry. It was too funny.
This is a good spot to finish it.
And I want to with this one thing that I posted on the.
I love that
on our podcast
page
Instagram, which was "We all bleed red."
We do.
We all bleed red.
I 100% agree with that.
Well, our blood is actually blue inside our veins, but when
it
it's the oxygen, it gets red. I'm sorry.
The meaning behind it,
we're all the same.
Is what
it doesn't matter what's on the surface, what's beneath the skin. It's all the same.
We should all just love each other. To be honest, we should build each other up and work together towards making this life amazing. Because, like I said, human beings are capable of wonderful things if we left the hate and the prejudices and everything else behind.
We just have to get rid of the rotten fruit.
Yeah, that's a long battle.
It's a long battle, but I think we can make it.
Hopefully, I mean, again, personally against the looting and stuff, but against uprooting the evil that has a grip of our judicial and our police force. All for it.
All right, so this was a little bit of a different podcast than we normally do.
A little more serious.
It's a lot more serious, but I think it's something that needs to be said in, no matter how small or big our reach is, I think that it's important to say it and to put it out there with however, like I said, small or big our voice is.
Burger, I guess you're hungry.
I'm hungry. He's getting hungry.
Hungry. If you guys made it this far, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And hopefully you guys can share this. Share the podcast. Share the message, of course.
And stay positive. Love one each other, man. Love each other. We're all family. We're all one,
All right. We'll catch you guys.
We're all one.
We're all one. We'll catch you guys next week.
Take it easy.
Peace.
Be safe.
Bye. Bye. Bye.